Hello, and welcome back to DataViz Bitesize. This is DataViz Bitesize episode 9. It's been a while, but we're back. As I explained before, this is intended to be a series of just very short micro vlogs, a DataViz thought for the day, if you like, just a little tip that you can put into practice as you're improving your charts and your graphs and you're thinking about your use of data visualization during your working day. I've shown before as well, this series is structured around a resource from John Schwabish in Washington, which he called DataViz Play Your Cards Right. So let's have a look at the card for episode 9. And it is this one, size matters. It's harder to compare areas or volumes than lengths. To avoid people getting the wrong impression, use them as a last resort. And it's a good reminder that although we can see, particularly in infographics, a lot of use of area or volume, three-dimensional, or just maybe large bubbles in order to convey size, it's often not done well. Often it's not sized accurately, and even if it is, people find it hard to accurately compare. So you are safer to stick to data visualization chart types that rely on length or other forms of communicating the data. Let me, as before, share a positive example, but because we're here critiquing something you shouldn't do, I'm going to share a negative example first. So I quite like this post from Adam Bowie. He, as I suspected, pulls out an infographic, this particular one by W. Edge, looking at top UK export destinations as published in a paper. And you can see this chart that's relying on bubble sizes to convey the relative size of UK exports to different countries. And quite rightly, what Adam does during this article is to work out, okay, what's going on with the size of these dots? Are they done correctly for that visual form? So he measures the diameter and with a little bit of maths, correctly deduces that what they've done is size each of those dots so that the diameter encodes the data. That is incorrect. If you're going to use a circle to encode data rather than a line in a bar chart, for instance, you need the area of that circle to be proportional to the data. So he does some maths to correct that, a little bit of use of pi, as every good school child will know, and correctly identifies firstly that Germany dot would need to be a little larger, and then goes on to spot the China one and others as well. So a nice example of having a bit more of a critical eye of all those charts you see where perhaps circle size isn't correctly encoding the data. As a more positive example for you, I went and had a look on the ONS's site. Lots of good examples of data visualization the ONS produce on their site, the Office for National Statistics in the UK. And here's one I chose just because it chooses to use other graph forms for the same data encoding. So it's looking at exports from the UK to different countries. Quite helpfully starts with an interactive map that you can click on because it's a familiar form for the data we're talking about, geographical location, but then supports that comparison of the size of imports and exports by the use of these bar charts, small spark lines after them, and these strip charts here to put any individual country, the black line, in context with the imports and exports we have from all countries around the world. So a nice positive example, I think, of thinking a little bit more about the data you want to represent and doing as John suggests, avoid using area or volume if at all possible, because people can't accurately compare them. I hope that helps. I hope you remember that size matters and continue to watch DataViz Bitesize. Bye for now.